Let me try that again because obviously I was muted. So, hello. I am Miss Nina B, and you are watching LinkedIn Hotspot Live, my weekly show where I talk about everything LinkedIn, particularly for speakers, coaches, and authors, those entrepreneurs who are trying to get their feet on the ground and their bank account growing based on their skills and abilities. They want to leverage LinkedIn, and I'm here to answer questions and share tips, techniques, and insights. So, if you are watching me, you may be watching me from what? LinkedIn, because I'm streaming live to LinkedIn, also YouTube and Facebook. If you're on Facebook and you're a part of the LinkedIn Hotspot community, hello to my famous community, my in crowd. How you guys doing? Come on in, pull up a chair. Tonight, I'm going to talk about lead magnets. And specifically, how do you use those wonderful lead magnets that you have? How do you use them on LinkedIn, right? So, before we get started, let me say welcome to the new members of the crew, the LinkedIn Hotspot in crowd. I just approved a whole bunch of people to join the group. So, welcome. And then I want you to know that we are going to be doing some new things in the group. As I always say, you will be able to be posting in the group and sharing your insight. So I'm looking for some community members who want to start sharing all of your wins and your challenges that you have on LinkedIn so that we can start sharing and caring for each other. So, if you're here with me, say hello in the comments so I know that you have joined me on this journey. And I'm going to get started because I like to make it happen, right? So let's talk about lead magnets. Lead magnets. So, what are lead magnets and why do you need one, right? So, if you are in these entrepreneurial streets, then you need something that will attract your target audience and provide some initial value to them. So you start to take them on a customer journey. And I've talked about customer journey, and I'll probably bring it back in this season of the LinkedIn Hotspot Live because we are on season 2. But one of the first phases is awareness. So it's kind of like, let me tell you some things about what I can do or the pain point you have and how I may be the solution for you. So having a lead magnet is a great way to provide value in exchange for something. One of my coaches and mentors, Love Dearly, always talks about the fact that people pay you first with their attention, with their information, and then with their money. So what does that look like? Their attention. You've got my attention. Now what are you going to do with it? Your information. Maybe the first thing I'm willing to exchange for some value from you is my email address, my first name and my email address. I may stop there. I may give you my phone number, but we'll see. But that's information. It's an exchange with an expectation that you're going to give me something of value. That's what lead magnets are. Typically, they are free. They are free. They can come in a lot of different forms, right? So it could be an ebook. It could be a email sequence of information. Excuse me. Let me grab my water. It could be a how-to checklist of things, how to do, or things you need to consider. It could be a list of affirmations. It could be a list of resources. Lead magnets can come in a lot of different forms. It could be a template for something, but it's something of value to your target audience in order for them to be willing to exchange for some level of information. Hopefully, their email address and name so that they can get on your email list. Once they're on your email list, you start to nurture that connection. So that's what lead magnets are and what they're for, right? And it's important that you have one so that you can start to know that people have an interest and you start to nurture that interest. So then what? After you have a lead magnet, you say to yourself, wow, I've got this lead magnet, right? Or I've got this idea. How do I create it? Well, I talked about the different types, but let's talk about how you can create a lead magnet. And it's not just about creating the actual document or information. It's how do I make it available to people in exchange for their email address. Many people use email marketing systems like MailChimp, MailerLite, Constant Contact, or you can go even keep going higher in where you're talking about ConvertKit and Kartra, Infusionsoft, all of those from basic mailing email marketing systems all the way up to big CRM systems. But basically something that will render a form for someone so they can provide their information. And then on the back end, once you receive their information, you have a process to send them a confirmation and access to that lead magnet. So for me, what does that look like? I use a system called Kartra. Kartra allows me to have a web page with a form on it. I share some information about what the lead magnet may be or the problem it solves. And then people can key in their name and their email address and their phone number if they so choose. And on the back end, my system knows if somebody fills out this form, then I want to send them an email to thank them and provide them access to the lead magnet. That's part of the process of having a lead magnet, is having a way to provide it to someone, right? So let me see if I have any comments. Hello, LinkedIn user. So now that you have a lead magnet, how do you get in front of people on LinkedIn? Glad you asked. So I have 3 tips, 1, 2, 3, of ways you can actually get your lead magnet in front of people on LinkedIn. So when you create a lead magnet, typically you have a URL that you can use to reference to how people can access that lead magnet. So a web address. So where do you do with that web address when it comes to LinkedIn? So number 1, the first place you should have the lead magnet and can have the lead magnet is your profile. On your LinkedIn profile. So you may be saying, oh, where, Miss Nina B, where can I put it? Oh my goodness, there are so many different places you could actually put it on your profile. So let's start the easy place. The easiest place is right at the top of your About section because that's text and you can add it as a part of the commentary that you put on your profile in the About section. So at the top, you can even say right at the beginning, oh, thank you for stopping by my profile. here is a link to a wonderful resource. You typically don't say lead magnet. You give them either it's a gift or a resource or what have you that as a thank you for them stopping by, and you put the link there. Now, be careful because in in LinkedIn land for that about section, URLs are not clickable. So you want to be very clear and say, hey, to grab this, simply copy and paste, copy this URL and paste it in a browser to grab it. You know, people may not know that they can't click on links in URLs, links in the about section, but you give the clear instructions to drive the behavior you want people to do. So that's one place on the profile. Another place you can put it on the profile is actually in your contact area. In the contact zone, you have the ability to add 3 different additional customized links. And so you could create a customized links to your lead magnet in your contact. And you can say, you know, grab this resource or something like that. And people are like, what resource? Click on it. It'll take them to your lead magnet page. Good stuff? Good stuff. Okay. So next, besides these places, there are more on your profile. But what would be, you know, the next place on LinkedIn that you would use a lead magnet? Well, how about as a post? And so you're thinking, as a post, do I post the URL? Well, yeah, you could. You could just post the URL. You could add some commentary to draw the attention, you know, a strong caption, headline, draw the attention of someone. You could even like add an image and the hyperlink to the lead magnet. You could just post that and you would get some attention. But if it's a document, you have the ability to post documents, PDFs, and PowerPoints and Word documents on LinkedIn, such that it's pageable. Like somebody can read it page by page on LinkedIn. Now, the upside is they get to immediately see the value that you have. The downside is they haven't exchanged any information with you in order to see it. So what I recommend is having almost a lead page for the lead magnet, where you like give part, you know, if you have a multi-page, like an ebook, I may give like 1.5 pages of information. So people, it's like a snippet. So people can start reading it. If they find it really interesting, then in it, I will have a clickable link to say, hey, for the rest of this ebook, click here. And that'll drive them to the full lead magnet. So it's like a teaser to the lead magnet, you know, and you can use that approach really on any of the social media platforms. But on LinkedIn specifically, you can post documents that are pageable. So I'm seeing a question in the chat. Can this be done on MailChimp? So yes, I talked about MailChimp is one of the systems you can use to capture the email addresses and connect people to a lead magnet. So what you would do is you would set up a MailChimp page or form that someone would go to and fill in their information. And then on the back end, you would have to decide, how do I make the lead magnet accessible? Early on in my entrepreneurial career, I used something called MailerLite, which is very similar to MailChimp. And I actually set it up so that once someone keyed in their information, excuse me, allergies, keyed in their information, they automatically got an email. In the email, there was a link to where they would get the lead magnet document. And that document was actually stored on a Google Drive. So I kind of used MailerLite and Google Drive to support my lead magnet. So you could do something similar. You can have MailChimp and like Google Drive, where that's where the document lives. In the email the person gets, they can click on a link that'll pull the document from a Google Drive. Hopefully that's helpful. So likewise, if you have when we're talking about posting a lead magnet as a document on LinkedIn, and it takes, those documents are high end posts. One, the algorithm favors it because a lot of people don't use it. People find it interesting because it's a different experience when you're looking at a post, because you can actually page through it. But then you don't want to just put the whole thing and then walk away if you really want to get their information. So if you put parts of it, like 1, 2, and 3 of your tips of 10, and then give them the option to click to get to the rest. Okay? So that's another way that you can use lead magnets on LinkedIn. Okay, so that's 2. So what's the third one? Well, believe it or not, I am a big fan of the LinkedIn messaging tool. The LinkedIn messaging tool allows you to interact directly one-on-one with people that you're connected with. So I often have a call to action when I am communicating with people, particularly new connections, right? So what I do is I'll have a standard message that, hey, thanks for connecting with me. I always invite my new connections to my LinkedIn Hotspot community on Facebook, and also send you a link to a free gift. And so then it's the link to my lead magnet. So it's simple. It's no pressure. It's basically saying, hey, hi, I always do this. If you find it valuable, I hope so. And you leave it there. But if you're connecting to the right people and you're connecting to your target audience, then you're likely to get them on your mailing list and capturing them through your lead magnet. So and what I do is I set aside particular days when I actually do my connection processing, where I'll have people waiting to connect with me. And so I'll accept their connection request, and then I'll go back through and I'll respond to each one saying, thank you for connecting. Here's a free gift, that kind of a thing. So when you get into the rhythm of doing those kind of things, you're starting to provide your lead magnet to people, and you start to get more people that are your target audience from LinkedIn. Now, one of the things I personally am about to do that I should have done a long time ago, and I have specific lead magnets that I use, in my business, and I use them on all different platforms. But what I'm going to start doing is having specific links that will capture if this person is coming from LinkedIn. So I know if they're clicking on this URL, they're likely coming from where I posted the URLs, the lead magnet on LinkedIn. So I can get a better sense of where my leads sourcing from. So that gets more involved. There are other ways to do that, but that's just something to throw out there as an advanced consideration and tip. Maybe your CRM has a way for you to manage that, maybe not, but you want to think about that. How do I start to identify where they're coming from and segmenting them? Okay. So those are the 3 tips that I have as far as using lead magnets on LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn. I love teaching about LinkedIn. I love helping people leverage the power of LinkedIn. So if you have any other questions, let's put them in the chat. And in the meantime, I have a couple of other things I want to share with you, a free gift. It is my LinkedIn Power Profile quick reference. So, if you are wondering, is your profile ready for prime time? Should I be doing something different with it? Is there something I need to update? I'm a little embarrassed about people even seeing it. If any of those things speak to you, you probably want to grab this quick reference. It's easy reading because I like to simplify things, and it gives you step by step information that you can act on to just level up your profile. So let me see if I can put this in the chat so that people can grab it. If I can type right and spell right at the same time. Yes. So if you can grab that, hopefully you'll see it on all the different platforms. If not, you can see it on the screen. MissNinaB.com Power Profile Quick Reference is a guide to help you kind of understand, is there something I need to be doing with my profile right now, today? Like right now, today. Yeah. Because I want to show up in a great way on LinkedIn. Once again, I want to say, if you are not a member of my community, the LinkedIn Hotspot is actually a Facebook-based group, and it is where I give additional tips, hints, insights. We run challenges. We support each other in this LinkedIn journey. I invite you to join me, and you simply go to joinmissninaB.com. It'll send you over there, ask you a couple of questions, and put you in the queue to be approved to join the group. We have new members every week. I'm excited about the new members who have joined this week, and I'm asking you to connect with some of the existing members and look for opportunities just to learn and level up on LinkedIn. Once again, that's the LinkedIn Hotspot group on Facebook, and you can simply go to joinmissninaB.com. Okay. So this was a great show. I'm not going to keep you long. I like to get in, give the information. Hopefully it'll resonate. If you are Team Live, put in the comments # Team Live. If you are watching this on the replay, put in the comments # Team Replay. If you have any questions, drop them in, because I always come back and I check and answer questions. So don't be shy if you have questions about anything I talked about. And I want to see these lead magnets showing up on LinkedIn so you can move people from the platform into your list so you can nurture them as clients. Okay? All right. Hey, I see Miss Leslie joining us. Miss Leslie, we've had a great conversations about leveraging LinkedIn lead magnets on LinkedIn. If you get a moment, please watch the replay. We're about to wrap it up for tonight. I have some exciting guests coming down the pike. One of my favorite entrepreneur friends from these internet streets, Mr. Markeith Braden, has agreed to come. And, I refer to him as the podcast professor. Nobody else may not call him that, but I do, the podcast professor. So he's going to be coming on the LinkedIn Live. So look for the announcement on when he's going to show up, so that if you have any questions about podcasts, we want to send it his way. We have other guests coming down the pipe. I'm so excited about all of my super friends who have a desire and a willingness to pour into my community. So thank you for joining me tonight. Have a great evening. Miss Nina B out. See you.